Hello, everyone. We are so glad you are here joining us. And for those of you who are watching this via recording, we are so glad that you've taken the time to participate in watching this recording. Thank you for coming to our monthly E3 Parent Summit. This is our final summit for the school year 2026, 2025, 2026. And so we're really happy that you're here. But the purpose of all of our E3 Parent Summits is to engage with our families, equip them with practical resources that they can use, and empower them to succeed on their journey in independent study with the Blue Ridge Academy. And a lot of times we have seminars like this one for fun so that we can celebrate what this year has brought us and what our students have done as well and celebrate them. Please note that this session will be recorded for future viewing on our Blue Ridge Academy Parent Information Center, along with all of our other previously recorded sessions, and you're welcome to view them at a later time. But to help this session run smoothly, here are a couple of requests that we have before we begin the presentation. Please, if you're not presenting, keep your microphones muted and your cameras off. You're welcome to submit any questions in the comment box, but there will be time allotted at the end of the presentation for questions and answers. And our wonderful presenters today will be there and just be there to answer any questions that you might have and share a little bit more about their experience. I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Anna Aguilar, and I am one of 4 family liaisons here to support our families at the Blue Ridge Academy, along with Annalisa Carrillo, Shannon Eves, and Amanda Neve. We specialize in supporting our wonderful families through virtual resources, valuable workshops. We have podcasts that we have, and vendor support. And we also moderate all of our social media platforms here at Blue Ridge. This is what it is. You need help and resources, we're here to help you. So please feel free to give us a call or email us at the email address down below. For today's presentation, this is extra special. We are here to celebrate our graduates for the year 2026. And I'm just showing you a few of our brags for this year that we get to shout out. So for this year, our graduating class, there are 214 graduates from 11th and 12th grade that will be graduating. We're so excited. Also, we have students that are represented from LA County and Ventura County, that wide range. And for that reason, we have 2 graduation locations for our graduating class. One location is in Thousand Oaks, at the Thousand Oaks Bank of America Performing Arts Center at the Fred Cavalier Theater. And another location will be at the Azusa Pacific University Felix Event Center. This is to give our students an opportunity to find a location that is closest to them and closest to our family. And for the first year, both of our locations are indoors, air conditioned, and they're wonderful seating. And so we're really excited about that, as well as being able to say this is our 5th year that we've been able to hold these graduations. And every year they get better and better. And that is a testament to say how much we appreciate and want to show just how proud we are of our graduating classes and all the work that they do to put in the effort. That's the effort that we put in to make sure that our students know that they are appreciated and valued. Now, I want you to take a moment to look at today's presenters. We have several today that are going to be talking a little bit about our graduation. These students have been selected. They either auditioned, they showed a little bit of their speeches and were selected. Some of them are selected because of their class status. So today we have a few valedictorians here that are going to share their journeys and also give us a sneak peek into their valedictorian speeches, as well as we have a student giving their class speech. They were chosen as their class to give a speech to the entire class of 2026, as well as we have a student who is going to be performing a dance at the presentation, at the graduation, but we're going to hear about these students, what their journey was in high school, what they learned, what they were able to do alongside not just the academic portion of high school, but as well as what else were they passionate about? What else were they able to achieve while they were continuing their academic journey with Blue Ridge? So I don't want to take up all of their time. I want to let them be able to share their experience and share about who they are. The first student I would love to allow to present and have her speak is Kelly Liu. She is one of our valedictorian speakers for our Blue Ridge Academy graduation. So, Kelly, take it away.
Could we pull up the slides, please?
Yes. Is this it? Oh, is that the correct one?
I'm not able to see it, sorry.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Ooh, did I not share my screen this whole time? I thought, no, I haven't been sharing my screen. Oh my goodness. I apologize for that. This whole time, I thought I was sharing my screen. Let me fix that. Forgive me for that.
Thank you. Hi everyone. I'm Callie Liu, one of the valedictorian speakers for the class of 2026. My high school homeschooling experience has been quite unique actually, as I've been homeschooled all of my life. Because of this, I wanted to focus on one of the major aspects of my own high school experience, which was how I learned how to find communities and socialize with other people my age, since I didn't necessarily get to know my own class. One way I found was through the National Honor Society, which I've been a part of from the beginning of freshman year. Despite it being mainly an online program, I was able to meet some of my closest friends. In addition, another Blue Ridge Academy offered opportunity that I joined was Academic Decathlon. Acadeca is a competitive team-based program where the school's team is able to compete against other homeschooling communities. Unfortunately, I don't have many photos of these things since they were mainly online, but other places that I did end up getting to know people were through my church's youth group and being part of the leadership team there. I was also volunteering at my local library over the summer, creating a photography Instagram account and joining the online community, and especially taking dual enrollment classes at the community college. I personally really enjoyed my dual enrollment classes because one, I usually had the choice between taking an online or an in-person version. Two, I was able to explore a lot of different academic interests. And three, the material the courses covered were much more interesting and enjoyable despite the rigor. Could we switch to the next slide, please? Aside from those, I also participated in soccer, and I've actually been playing for around 11 years now. So, in my many years, I've been able to create lifelong friendships and be part of a community of people who, of course, share one of my major interests. Competing on a club team has also allowed me to travel to different places, some of which include Hawaii, Florida, and this upcoming summer, Tennessee. And can we switch to the final slide, please? And I also wanted to mention my plans for after graduation. In a few months, I'll be attending Cal Poly SLO, where I'll be majoring in kinesiology on the pre-med track and hopefully minoring in psychology as well. And finally, I guess I would like to share my valedictorian speech, which I will be giving at one of Blue Ridge Academy's coming graduations. Greetings and salutations, esteemed faculty members, parents, families, friends, and fellow graduates. My name is Callie Liu, and it is an honor to be able to represent the class of 2026. On behalf of the seniors, I'd like to take the time to thank everyone for being here and showing your support. Your patience, your sacrifices, and your steady encouragement are the reasons we are standing here today. And to my peers, congratulations, we did it. Although it wasn't quite like the musical, high school allowed us to discover ourselves and maybe become a little too well acquainted with stress and sleep deprived nights. Because if I may say, if racing with 11:59 p.m. on Friday nights were a sport, I'm fairly sure I'd be a gold medalist by now. Thankfully, I do get to stand up on stage for something though, as will all of you. We've officially made it through high school and reached this once in a lifetime achievement. So let's celebrate the work and determination we put in and the promise of the futures waiting for each of us. However, before we let the final curtain fall on this part of our stories, I'd like to first appreciate the last 4 years. Close your eyes and imagine the sounds you would hear during a typical morning. Whether that was the silence of a still sleeping house, quiet murmur in a coffee shop, or a blaring alarm that you should have turned off 5 minutes ago, everyone lives their own distinct life, each a kaleidoscope of different sounds, experiences, and ideas. At Blue Ridge, we quite literally didn't just attend a school, but composed and directed our own stories. Today, we celebrate those individual compositions rising, swelling into one powerful collective chorus. Throughout my own high school experience, I was constantly balancing being a voice on the soccer field and finding my voice as a student. Whether that was yelling at someone to pass me the ball, figuring out how to unmute over Zoom, or even emailing teachers about an assignment that made no sense, people were constantly encouraging and pushing me to make myself known. And eventually, I did. Maybe not always in the right scenarios, and I apologize to my family for breaking their eardrums in the car, laughing a little too loudly, or singing like there's no tomorrow. But I have learned to find my own voice. In my own journey, I also learned that not all voices are heard in a vocal sense. Rather, they are part of a rising, fighting to be heard in their own ways. They are the artists, the writers, the entrepreneurs, the researchers, all creating their own marks. High school gave us our foundations, allowing us to choose our own keys and tunes to play. As freshmen, many of us entered high school feeling alone and enveloped in a cloud of nerves and uncertainty. But we're all in this together because now, as graduating seniors, empowered by confidence and albeit some apprehension, we're now entering a new chapter of our lives. We've only now begun to flourish as individuals, to develop our skills and find our voices. We are rising from the whispers of who we used to be. Senior year isn't just an ending, it is the roaring crescendo of our high school symphony. As we now head off on our own paths to continue evolving and developing our own tunes, in the words of High School Musical, don't stick to the status quo. Don't let the world direct your life. The very essence of the class of 2026 is that we are all different and collectively represent the diversity of Blue Ridge. Our voices are rising today because we refuse to be quieted and become another background noise. As we leave, I challenge you, don't let yourself become the rarely noticed hum of your computer or the subtle rustling of the wind blowing through the trees, but rather the blaring alarm in the morning. Make yourself known, start a movement, conduct a new chorus. To the class of 2026, the world has been waiting for this song. It's time to sing it loud and let them hear us. Congratulations, we made it.
That was absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much. Our theme this year is Rise Up. And so these seniors were able to pick that theme. And I think that your words align so well and encourage us so much. So thank you, Kelly. We really appreciate that. And thank you for sharing your journey and your high school journey with us. And best wishes on your next endeavors. Next, I'd love to share with you our class speech as well. And this is Keisha Ong.
Could you flip to the next slide, please? Thank you. Okay. So I've been homeschooled my whole life. So I pretty much grew up going to various field trips. As you can see in the pictures, I went to like the Apple Store, the Nutcracker. Uh, I went to like fire stations and Shakespeare's plays and a ton of various field trips. And a huge part of my schooling has actually been music, specifically piano. I was involved with Certificate of Merit. It's a program, piano program, and I've been with them since 2014, and I've been playing piano since 2012. I've been involved in multiple competitions and recitals, and I just recently graduated from the Certificate of Merit program last summer. There's a lot of piano photos, as you can see, as this has been a big part of my life. I've also sung in choirs and sang/played piano for my local church's high school band, but I couldn't really find any photos of that, so all these photos are just from the various competitions I've had. Could I have the next slide, please? When I'm not schooling, which let me tell you, ever since I've been into high school, I think school takes up about 80% of my brain space. But I love to get out and do things. I am a big fan of nature, and I've always loved going out and exploring, which evidently means lots of hiking and biking, even though I'm not always the biggest fan of it. But it allows me to go outside and explore, so it's pretty worth it. I also love skiing and snowboarding, taking photos, going for picnics or hang out with friends. And at the bottom is a picture of me acting in a skit for a club at our church called Awana, which is also a big part of my life. And I still volunteer for it. I've been involved for, I think, 11 years at this point. Some other hobbies I love is sewing, especially clothes, and journaling and reading. If you could do the next slide, please. I will be sharing a speech at one of the graduations that Blue Ridge is hosting, and so I wanted to share my speech with you guys. Get my notes. My fellow Americans, I'm sorry, these are the wrong notes. Hello, aliens of 3042. Still not the correct notes. And this year's Grammy goes to, not my notes. Oh, here they are. Blue Ridge Academy, class of 2026. Welcome. My name is Keisha, and before I begin, I wanted to thank the Blue Ridge Academy staff and counselors for putting together a wonderful graduation ceremony. This year, our graduation theme is Rising Voices with an exclamation mark. At first, I had a difficult time determining what this could mean. I felt like I could go so many directions with this theme. However, I decided to take the words at face value. What does the words themselves actually mean? Rising voices is not your rising voice alone, and it's not my rising voice alone, but it's rising voices plural. It's a collective of voices, not individual voices. But how can this be achieved? Well, the answer is through community. And the power of community is to have voices rise, to be listened to and understood. A professor from my public speaking class once said, "The key to effective communication is not the ability to articulate words, but to listen." If you plan on going to Moore Park College, by the way, I would highly recommend her class. See, many of us here have different worldviews, different beliefs, different attitudes, different priorities, etc. But at the core of it, we often find that our values are the same. I don't want people to die, and I'm sure you don't either. I don't want crimes to be committed, and I'm sure you agree with me on that also. I want to feel safe and live life to the fullest, and I'm sure you want the same thing. So there we have it. Now we're besties. However, this is where things start to get a little tricky. The way I see justice served may differ from how you believe justice should be served, and therefore our attitudes towards justice become vastly different, and now we're enemies. But wait, are we? We may not have the same beliefs or attitude, but we value the same things. If we just take a moment to try and understand where the other person comes from, we could progress so much further as a community to resolve issues that bother everybody instead of just being stuck on surface level problems. Now, I'm not saying the way things get done is not important. That's where compromise plays a big role. But it is definitely harder to raise your voice as an individual than with the community surrounding you. But who is this community? Well, I want you to use your eyes to look left and to the right, to look forward and backwards, to look at your teachers, your counselors, your classmates, your family, and your friends. That's your community. Congratulations! Step one is completed, and you didn't even have to get up out of your chairs. Pretty simple, right? Well, the next step isn't much harder. If we used another sense, our ears, we could probably hear birds chirping or wind rustling if we were outside. And so now I want you to use those same ears to listen to people. Hear their likes, their dislikes, their attitudes, their beliefs, their values. Hear them out. And now, if and only if you've listened to them, and I mean truly listened to them and understood their point of view, you can see what you guys have in common. I can guarantee there's at least one thing you have in common. So now you can take this newfound commonality and you can change the world. I mean, there's much more steps before you manage world peace, but think about how much you could change by just listening first. The greatest inventions often do not start with something very grand, but rather with something small. We all know how it feels to be listened to and understood. And so, how many more people do you think could make a difference in the world because you listened first? Remember, the start of having rising voices is to listen, because you never know whom else's voice may rise with yours. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was absolutely wonderful as well. And I like those points, the points of voices. The theme is rising voices, and how you highlighted more than one voices. That means all of us. And it really kind of brings us all together in that. And um, the 2 points of being community, and how we need to reach out and be community for one another, and really listening. And thank you so much. That was beautiful. And I love that perspective that you were able to bring. So, Keisha, thank you so much. And thank you for sharing your journey, and the fact that you've been homeschooling all this time. Your entire journey has been homeschooling, and all of the wonderful field trips and adventures you've gone on. That I think that's amazing. So thank you for sharing that with us. Next, we have our additional valedictorian. This is Landon Lewis Espinosa, and he's going to share his journey with us as well.
Hello, everyone. My name is Landon Lewis. I am the 2026 valedictorian speaker for this year's Blue Ridge graduation ceremony. If you can go to the next slide, please. So today I just want to share a little bit about my homeschool journey and what that's been like for me. I started homeschooling in 4th grade because I worked in the entertainment industry, which I still do today. So homeschool really did give me the flexibility to balance my education with the opportunities I pursued outside of school. I was able to travel for work and continue growing creatively while staying focused on my academics. And so when I started homeschooling, the school was still called Inspire. And during that time, they had a program called the Enrichment Academy, or EA, where I attended classes every Thursday. And a few years later, Inspire became what we know now as Blue Ridge Academy. And looking back, some of my favorite memories came from those years. The market fairs, talent shows, classroom activities, painting, crafts, and all the different events that made learning feel really exciting. One thing that always made homeschooling special for me was how learning was brought to life. My mom always found ways to connect what I was learning to real experiences, whether it was through field trips, art projects, museums, or activities I could actually experience and remember. It made learning feel more meaningful and helped me stay curious about the world around me. And over the years, I got to explore many opportunities from competitions where I was fortunate enough to win first place several times. And I also took many classes from robotics to coding, cooking, and even chess. Those experiences really did help me grow in confidence and definitely encouraged me to keep trying new things. If you can go to the next slide, please. Thank you. And as I got older and entered high school, homeschooling gave me the flexibility to continue exploring the things I loved. I got into snowboarding, acoustic guitar. I also play electric guitar and sewing because I like fashion. Also photography, skateboarding, soccer, where I played striker and made a lot of great memories with my team. I also discovered a passion for digital arts and media, spending time learning programs like Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, Premiere Pro, and also Adobe After Effects. And along with that, I became interested in entrepreneurship and financial literacy through school events like market fairs and other opportunities Blue Ridge provided. Another important part of my journey has been volunteering and giving back to the community, from helping in preschool classroom to serving at homeless outreach and volunteering through NHS and Samaritan's Purse. Those experiences taught me a lot about leadership, service, and also helping others. And looking back, homeschooling gave me so much more than just an education. It gave me opportunities to grow, explore my passions, meet tons of amazing people, and also create memories that I will cherish forever. And as I move into the next chapter of my life, I'm really excited for what's ahead and very grateful for everything that helped me shape me into who I am today. And after graduation, I plan to continue pursuing entrepreneurship and also growing my knowledge in business, investing, financial, and real estate. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Landon. I was looking at those pictures and I remember you. I remember some of those pictures at the market fair and things like that. As soon as I saw your smile as a young, healthy fourth grader, third grader, I'm like, I remember that. So at those EA events. Anyway, I'm so glad to see how you've grown and to see where your journey has taken you. And I look forward to what you have planned for the future. And I'm sure it'll be amazing and you will, do amazing things. And I've also had the pleasure of watching this young lady grow um, as a young girl, homeschooling and seeing her journey. But I'm going to let her share what she has been doing as well. Go ahead, Sarah.
Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Valenzuela, and I've been homeschooling since I was in the second grade. And throughout my homeschooling years, I love how I've been privileged to learn on my own pacing. I would use like online courses and different textbooks. And I also love how I've got to participate in various activities, especially dance. I've been dancing for around 10 years at Crescendo Performing Arts. And during that time, I got to dabble in like different dancing styles like jazz, lyrical, contemporary, tap, ballet, and hip hop. Um, and that happens to be my favorite type of dance, hip hop. It's really fun. Can we go to the next slide? All right. So here we have different shows I got to participate in. With Crescendo Performing Arts, I've been a part of a performance group called the Barytones. And we basically sing and dance while visiting various locations like the Chino Hills shops, senior citizen homes, and Knott's Berry Farm, and many more. And Annually, Crescendo puts on a show every summer. And last summer, my sisters and I got to participate in The Prince of Egypt. And it was just a blast performing together. And because of my experience with dance, I've been helping as a teacher's assistant for ballet class for girls ages to 4 to 10 for about 2 years now. And because of that, I have been asked to teach my own class this coming year, and I'm very excited for that. Can we go to the next slide, please? So, not only do I spend most of my time singing and dancing, I actively serve at my church, Calvary Chapel Cornerstone. I serve with my family. I serve in the worship ministry. I play the bass. My dad and my big sister, they taught me how to play, and it's been really fun. I also play percussion and I sing as well. And I also serve in the PowerPoint ministry. So I put the lyrics in the big screen for everyone to see and to sing along. And I've also helped in a worship class that my big sister has taught in my school. I've helped I've helped teach her, I've helped play with them as well, like my bass. That's actually where I learned how to play the instrument. And these pictures on the side here are photos I've taken during my CTE course, photography. Currently in that course, I'm learning how to animate as well. So 3D animation. And throughout the years, I've been taking photos. I've taken photos of like nature, like the flowers you see there, and different animals. I've also helped take photo shoots for my cousin, my family, and my friends. And it's just been a wonderful learning experience. And yeah, that's basically it.
Awesome. Thank you, Sarah, for sharing. And can you share a little bit about what you'll be doing at the graduation ceremony?
Mhm. Yes, I will be performing a lyrical dance that I choreographed, and I will be dancing to the song Speechless from the live action Aladdin movie. I find that that song resonates with me a lot. It's basically about finding your voice and learning not to stay quiet and to speak your mind and what you have to say.
That's wonderful. And how about your eighth grade promotion with Blue Ridge? Did you
Mm,
participate in that, and in what way?
I did. I performed a tap number with my big sister. I choreographed that as well. Um, that was really fun to choreograph.
So it has been wonderful to just see the progression of just how you've grown and how you've shared your talents with Blue Ridge, and how you've carried on and even taken advantage of those CTE courses and allowed us to see just the beauty that you get to see behind the camera. So thank you so much. What are your future endeavors?
Well, I would love to continue pursuing in the performing arts. I would also love to become a dance teacher, and I believe that Crescendo has been helping me a lot with that, and I really want to learn
Awesome.
more about that.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. Well, everyone, today, I just want to thank all of our graduates for just coming on and sharing their experience. This is the time for question and answer. So, if there was something that you heard regarding any of our presenters, and if there's anything you're curious about, you want to know where they're going or what they're doing or how they um, got to a sport or one of their instruments, how they got to doing what they did, you're welcome to ask questions. um, and find out more about them. So this is our time for Q&A, and I'll just give it a minute or so if anyone would like to unmute, but you're welcome to, our presenters, you're welcome to turn on your camera so that we can see who you are and be able to ask those questions as well. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to ask a question, and you're able to unmute whenever you want. Who has been your HST? We need to give shout outs to your HSTs out there. Does anyone who wanna brag about their HST?
Katie Lucas. She's been an enormous help and she has supported me throughout my years in Blue Ridge. She's just the number one hype woman. I love her so much.
My HST is Katie Schumer. I love her so much. During our meetings, she's always really open to talking about what I am up to besides academics. And my family and I always like to bring board games with her because she enjoys playing games with us. So I just wanted to mention that.
I heard something about that. That's fun. Super, super fun.
My HST is Shani Calera. She's been with us since eighth grade to 12th grade, and she's been really awesome. Such a awesome time. And yeah, she's been wonderful.
I heard she's one who also brings games.
Yeah, so I think she did bring one before.
My HST is Sally Jackals. She's great. I've been with her since I entered Blue Ridge in third grade. Um, and yeah, she's really fun. She is also a big like music person. So I got to invite her to like choir concerts and all these things, and she really enjoys like watching us and like listening to music and stuff. So it's been really fun.
Awesome. That's wonderful. Okay, so I need some wisdom. If you were to share some kind of wisdom for a student coming in as a freshman and going into high school, what is what's some words of wisdom that you would share with them? Callie, you said something funny about those midnight 11:59 turn in your essays, but what is something that you would share with an incoming freshman who's about to go through the high school um, journey?
On the note of staying up that late, don't do it. I don't recommend. But my words of encouragement would be to not be afraid to put yourself out there because it is a little difficult to find communities being online. But once you do find your communities, it is a really great experience.
Love that.
I think one thing that I would encourage like freshmen to do is as Callie kind of said, it's sometimes hard to find community. But taking in-person classes as much as possible is really fun. Especially like a dual enrollment student, like taking classes at a like a community college. Those are always really fun. And not only are they like beneficial to you and you get to experience like the classroom setting, but also you get college credits, you weight your GPA, and like you can also, if you take certain general education requirements, you can check that off for when you go to college later, if you plan on going to college. And it's just, I think overall it's a very fun and very beneficial experience to do a dual enrollment.
Thanks for sharing that.
A couple of things I would encourage is definitely don't be afraid to fail. Also take every opportunity, learn everything as much as you can. get your feet wet, and most of all, have fun while doing it.
Absolutely have fun while doing it. I love it. I think that's what homeschooling offers, the fun while doing it, the joy of being able to explore those options. Sarah, did you want to bestow any wisdom?
I do want to say, like, there has been a couple times where when I felt discouraged because I felt like I wasn't learning or performing at my fullest while in school. And just remember that you have support all around you, like your family, your HST, you may have a counselor maybe. So just remember you have all that support, you're not alone. And yes.
That's wonderful. Well, to all of you, I just want to thank you so much for sharing your journey. And I really do hope that this inspires our underclassmen to really just listen and find it that they can do both, that they can do their academics and pursue their passions or try something new or not be afraid to fail and say, okay, that didn't work. Maybe I'll try this one. And just to keep going. Uh, and so I just really appreciate you being just so open and honest and sharing your speeches with us because some of these students won't be able to attend the graduation, but I know that we all wish you the best in your futures. We know that you come equipped. Yes, Sarah, please share.
Yes, if I can give a quick shout out real quick to Miss Anna. In fact, she has actually introduced me to the world of performing arts. Like, I remember I was around 6 when I was performing in her choir class too, and her Christmas show. I still remember, what was it, rapping all the way, something like that. But it was such a joy to be a part of, and I'm glad you gave me the confidence to do that because I was not the most confident person growing up. I was extremely shy, but being a part of things like that helped me really get out my shell. So thank you so much for being that support.
What a pleasure. What a pleasure. And to see the fruit of that labor is whew, honestly the gift of all gifts. But to see all of you just in your own place, growing into who you are and using your voices um, to just as you grow and using your voices to say this is who I am, this is what I want to do, this is where I want to go, and I wish you the best, and so does all of us at the Blue Ridge Academy. So thank you for sharing. We wish you the best next week at graduation, and we will see you there. And we will be so delighted to again hear your speeches. Thank you for watching and being part of our Zoom recording. And again, we wish all of our graduates the best, all 214 graduating class of 2026. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye-bye.